guys, I'm going to do an update here on this Quincy QR number 325 compressor. Those of you who saw the very first video of this compressor when I got it, when I bought it, it was a three-phase unit that I converted to single phase. Now I didn't actually show the actual beginnings of it where it was actually a three-phase yet, but you basically saw the very first videos where I'd actually had it converted already to single phase and running and testing it to make sure that the $600 I dished out for this three-phase unit was actually working. So anyways, getting back to this original intent here, this particular motor that is on this compressor is only a 1.0 service factor, and the problem is, well, actually it's not really a problem, but the concern is that this motor is only rated for 23 amps max at the 1.0 service factor. And knowing that, when I put the motor on there, I actually used a smaller pulley here on the motor than what actually was on the other motor, which ironically was also a GE, but it was a three-phase unit. And anyways, the recovery time was good if you're not drawing air, but if I'm using my air center, the recovery time is probably 3 to 4 times slower. If I let off the air center, I mean, boom, it catches right up. But the other thing is that this motor's probably got an efficiency of maybe 80% or maybe even less. And the other thing that really has me concerned with this motor, and I knew this when I put it on there, but for some reason I thought, you know what, I'll just put this motor on there. This motor actually came off of a vacuum pump on a dairy farm. Came off of a Bomatic vacuum pump actually. And Bomatic vacuum pumps, this one I think was on a model number FR4A, ran about 1500 RPMs, and if I'm not mistaken, the vacuum pump was on this side of the motor, and they'd run warm, they'd actually run hot. And inside this box, I'm not going to take the cover off here, but inside the box there's 2 start capacitors up on top, and then a big fat oval run capacitor on the bottom. The wiring that's in that box and the wiring coming out of the motor is pretty crusty, and I'm assuming it's because of all the excess of heat buildup. So I just feel it's probably my best interest just overall just to replace it with something newer that's a little bit more efficient. Now, ironically enough, Baldor has 2 particular motors that would fit this application in a single phase unit. There is an L1410T, which is a 23 amp model, and there's an L1430T, which is a 20.6 amp model. Both of them have a 1.15 service factor, and they're both considered to be an open drip proof. The difference is power factor and efficiency. The L1410T has a power factor, I think, of 87% and efficiency of 82.5 or 83%. Versus the L1430T has a power factor of 94% and an efficiency of 89 or 87%. And it's not considered a high efficiency, but it's still a little more efficient. I've been working with Quincy and Baldor Electric, and unfortunately Quincy was not able to actually give me a Baldor motor part number. And Baldor wasn't really able to give me the actual part number either that was used on the Quincy compressors. But I did get somewhere. I got an email and a phone call back from a local district office, and they were recommending either one, that they'd both pull the same load. So I actually went online, went on eBay, and I'm getting a L1410T Baldor, which is, like I said, it's a 184T frame with an 1.1" shaft, 1725 RPMs, 1.15 service factor, 23 amps plus the 15% service factor, so it's good for about 27 amps. with that being said, I can replace this motor pulley here with the original, which is about 3/4 of an inch more, which will bring the compressor RPM back up to 828 RPMs, which is what this particular unit was coming from the factory, according to Quincy, because of the serial number. So that's going to probably take place sometime here in the middle of next week. I hope to have the motor probably by mid to late next week, and then I'll do the changeover. The only little thing that's going to be a little bit, well, not be an issue, but I'll have to address, and I should have thought more before when I did this. This magnetic starter is not original with the compressor, as such as the motor isn't either. Years ago, the magnetic starter was just mounted on the wall someplace, or mounted someplace else, but it was not actually on the compressor. And as you can see, the mounting plate in this compressor actually has a really short footprint. I mean, overall, if you look at this compressor, the footprint really isn't that big, and that's what I really liked about this unit. But what's going to happen now is I'm going to have to find a new location for this magnetic starter, because the new motors are actually longer. I measured this one here the other night, and I think it measures like 13 inches. And the new Baldor motor, the L1410T, is about 14.5, which will bring me to about here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my unistrut system here, but I'm actually going to probably get a piece of 1.5 inch or 2x2 square tubing, and probably mount it horizontally, and then mount the magnetic starter over here, so that way the face of the motor is completely open, because now I'm going from a totally enclosed fan cooled motor to an open drip proof. If I would have went with the L1430T, that one is what they call an open drip proof through fan. There's actually a fan on the front, but there's slots in the motor in the back and I think on the side, so it actually pulls air through the motor. So it is somewhat of a fan cooled motor, but the L1410T has been around for a while, so I knew just off of old school technology that if I can squeeze, 26 or 27 amps out of it max, that I can get this compressor running back to its original RPM and get a little bit better recovery. So, but the biggest reason of replacing the motor is not so much for the recovery and everything, but it's more so just to make sure that, this one here, like I said, it's 30 years old. The wires inside are getting kind of crusty, and I'm just a little nervous with it. So I figured, you know what? Might as well do it now that I got the chance, and they're very reasonable right now. Ironically enough, the L1410T I found on eBay was actually about $20 less than the L1430T. So yeah, maybe you pay more for a higher efficiency. I mean, even though it's not considered a high efficiency, it's not the gold Baldor motor, it's still gray or silver. But anyways, so yeah, that's going to happen here in the next week or so, and like I said, just need to rearrange this, hoping maybe just to drop it down so the top is here, and then hang it out here someplace so that I can keep all of my conduit and everything. So, but anyways, that'll be the update, and if I think of it and I get a chance and it's not going to set me back too much, I'll record the changeover process as well. And otherwise, for surely, I'll have show you it up and running with the new Baldor motor. Plus, before I want to do that, I actually want to drain the tank, and I want to time how long it takes this particular compressor to fill from 0 to 160 psi with its original configuration, and then I want to time it again from 0 to 160 psi with the new Baldor L1410T motor, because this compressor will be running a little bit faster to its original RPM again. So be curious. Other than that, this is an absolute great unit. I mean, I walked into this one for $600, and I put about another $400 into it for magnetic starter, pressure switch, auto drain, some filters and stuff, which is really peanuts, because if I would have bought a brand new compressor, I know I would not have been able to afford a Quincy QR number 325 like this one here, because brand new they're probably close between $3,500 and $4,000. And I mean, you can just see that this thing is a it's a tank. But anyways, I don't know if I would have been able to afford that. I probably would have wound up with like a Champion. Probably would have wound up with the Centurion 2 possibly, which still uses reed valves, but I know I was pricing a Speed Air at the time too, which is actually a Champion compressor, and I could have gotten a really good deal on that. But anyways, so I will keep you posted on that, and hopefully, like I said, it won't take too much time to change this over. It'll take more time to move this than it will anything else, and I'll probably do that beforehand. So, but other than that, that will be the update. So I don't think I'll end up ever having to do anything more with it, just for a simple reason that I knew the motor was going to be I was going to do it sometime sooner or later, but I guess we're going to do it sooner now. So alright, thanks for watching.